What is up, everybody? It has been forever since I've had this mill going, and it's been forever since I've had a video out. So I am back. I actually have chips all over the machine, and this little guy is what I've been working on. So when I first got this mill, it was like maybe the first thing I made on here was a MR2 bottle opener, a little bit bigger than this one. I scaled it down a little bit. If you go back and watch the videos, that was actually the one that the Superfly grabbed out of the vise and chucked across the room. So it was super eventful, if you will. And I made it and I kind of played with it and everything, but I never really went too far with it. And I finally decided to come back to that project and make some of them that are actually for sale. So without further ado, here's a little bit of footage of making these. Most of it's sped up like 8 times. I really sped up the engraving part because that part takes forever. All right, so here we are doing op 1. Sorry, I didn't get a good shot of the Superfly just cleaning up the surface of the raw stock, but that would have been first. And the second op is this 1/2-inch end mill, just roughing out all the material to get the rough shape of the car. And next we'll come in with like I think that's an 1/8-inch end mill, just kind of getting all those tight little corners and cleaning everything up. Yeah, the 1/8 inch is also used right there for the actual bottle opener portion to get in there. And it's gonna go ahead and run like a finishing pass all the way around the outside contour. And after that, we're gonna bust out the engraver. The engraver takes forever. It's about, I think it's like 14 minutes per bottle opener right now. So that's the biggest thing I don't like about my Tormach 1100. I've got the PCNC one, the older version. So it has a 5,000 RPM spindle. Like you could engrave probably at like 20,000 RPM and be a lot faster. So I have to slow the feed way down. I don't like it. It gets the job done though. It's not that big of a deal. So at least the machine's doing the work and I'm not. So there it is, it sped way up. I think that's like 16 times or something. You can see that coolant just flying everywhere. And last but not least, a chamfer to go around the outside to just clean up the entire part. I try to always chamfer my corners, especially in aluminum, because otherwise it just leaves that unfinished feel of the part. So that is op 1. You know, a nice little slow-mo there of getting all that coolant off of there and kind of showing off the fanciness of op 1 with all that engraving and all that work done. Looks pretty sick. Here's op 2, so we flip the soft jaws, we flip the part. Now that's that 1/2-inch end mill again, and I am decking off that top hat, I've heard it called. It's about an 1/8 inch thick chunk of aluminum that I leave hanging out there. That's what I was holding on to in op 1. And then comes the Superfly. I think I'm taking off 5 thou right here just to give it a nice clean surface finish for the finished part. And in comes a 1/4 inch end mill just to put a little pocket in there, a round pocket for a magnet. And I probably could make this a little better. Right now I've got a roughing op and then a finishing op. So it kind of goes back and forth, but I probably could make it do one bottle opener at a time since there's no tool change and save a few seconds. I haven't really worried. And last but not least, one of the toughest things on op 2 is that chamfer. If you aren't touched off perfectly, it'll be off a little bit. My chamfer on this part's 5 thou, so if you're off by even 2 thou, you start to see about double the chamfer size on one side than the other. So there they are, off the mill. And spray them off with a little bit of air, clean them up. And boom, they are done. So I can make 2 at a time. Not the fastest thing in the world, but I'm not making a ton of them. These will be on sale on my Etsy page on the link below. They are 1/8 inch thick by roughly just shy of 5 inches long by about 1.5 inches tall. And they're 6061 aluminum. They're going to be clear anodized to give them just a little bit more like surface hardness. That way they don't wear out and they don't scratch as easy. Oh, a little magnet on the back. Slap it on your door, slap it on your toolbox, slap it on your drill press. You could even slap it on your fridge if you want. So when all that's said and done, you always have to test your products. Delicious.